Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So over the past couple of weeks, there's been multiple rounds of drama in the Marvel Rivals community, and it seems like each situation has been getting increasingly stupid as we keep progressing through them, and today is no exception. We're dealing with a situation where one streamer is calling out a bigger streamer, accusing them of very problematic behavior. Now, this is the final response we'll see from the one streamer in question who's making the call-out thread we're going to focus on, where they're wishing death upon multiple users. Now, you have to ask yourselves, what is the situation that would lead us to this sort of a response? Well, spoiler alert, it has to do with no words. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that streamer was accusing FanFan of being problematic because she and her community use the forbidden R word. And yeah, this individual right here is very upset about that, to the point where they made the call out thread in question saying this: "It's getting to a point that I cannot watch any big Marvel Rivals streamers because they're either misogynistic, racist, or ableist, and their chats/friends are complicit and encourage them to continue the antics. Like, why are we spamming the R word in the big 2026? Grow up." And the screenshot she included is from FanFan's stream, and the streamer making the call out, who also goes by Queen Tofu, is in the replies saying, if there's a slur that hurts marginalized communities, I don't know why we're saying it. Now, it becomes very clear what we're talking about specifically in this situation when this user says, "What's the R word? Retard?" And the streamer responds by saying, "Yeah, but why are you saying it too?" Well, I just said it myself because I'm quoting this tweet, which, by the way, people have tried to cancel me for in the past, for literally reading that word in a tweet, not directing it at anyone, not using it as an insult, just quoting a tweet that is relevant to my video. And you can imagine in the 1,300 responses made to this post, what the most common phrase was in the replies. But our main protagonist here, Victoria, is very upset about what FanFan did. And some people are saying, well, then go watch someone else, instead of begging for attention and posting about them, saying this person says stuff I don't agree with, I disapprove, we should police them. And Victoria says, I did watch someone else. I posted this so when she one day tries to pivot into another industry, moments like this will follow her. Yes, it's not just a call-out post for the time being. She wants this to be a life ruination type situation where this horrible act by FanFan is going to follow her no matter where she goes in her career. In fact, the responses are really telling about this individual. So again, you can see someone responding saying, "You're probably an idiot or someone with low self-esteem who needs to virtue signal and try to get people to pay attention to pictures of yourself." And Victoria responds by saying, "You're a MAGA." Well, that was a very common theme for multiple months on this person's account. And keep in mind, this is the person virtue signaling about the use of the dreaded R word, right? And this is their behavior. They clearly have an issue with conservatives to the point where they were celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk when someone pointed out that he was a father and husband, and that even if you politically disagree with him, nothing justifies such a sick act. And she says, "My unwoke opinion for today is that I'm all right with it." Yes, she's all right with a wife being widowed and children not growing up with a father because she doesn't like their political opinions. In fact, it gets even worse, where she says that his opinions have influenced millions of people. "I'm glad he's dead, and I hope it scares all the MAGA influencers." So not only is she celebrating his assassination, she's hoping it scares any conservative influencer that they now fear for their lives constantly. Totally unhinged. But it gets even worse. She then starts talking about Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, and says in all likelihood, she's a Nazi too. She chose to breed with that thing, so I don't feel bad for her. Hope one day she decides to not be a piece of crap. This is the person who is wagging her finger at FanFan and her community for being okay with the word retard. That is the kind of person who thinks they're morally superior to you. And because of what we just saw, it really shouldn't surprise you that in this context, she says, I hope they die. Whether it's referring to people using the R word, or in this case, the hard R, which some people are construing as possibly the N word, either way, she's saying people should die over words on the internet, which would also, no matter what the context, apply to even, let's say, black people saying the N word, if that is the context she believes it was, or just simply the R word, I don't really know. But again, it's clear she wants people to pass away, to have their lives ended over words on the internet. Now, if she's mad about those replies in the initial situation, she's going to be really mad about FanFan's response to this whole situation and FanFan's response to her tweet whining about everything we've been mentioning.
Oh my god, guys, let me tell, holy shit. Finzi and Imperator linked me a fucking tweet from this dumb bitch on Twitter who's like, I can't watch any big Marvel rival streamers because they're all horrible people for saying retard. Me? Big Marvel rival streamer? Me? Brother. What in the fuck? And then I also got linked a screenshot of one of her tweets, and it was one of her tweets quote retweeting Necros. Necros being like, I don't think people are banning supports because I don't actually think people are banning supports because they're sexist. I think people are banning supports because supports are strong right now. And her being like, misogyny is everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That fully tracks. That someone who thinks supports being banned is due to sexist reasons would also treat the word retard like the N-word.
So in case you're confused about that last part, there was drama in the Marvel rival scene over supports, and basically Victoria was saying the negative treatment had to do with misogyny and racism. Like, it was a gigantic reach to begin with, but you can see FanFan has absolutely no problem doubling down on the situation and mocking this ridiculous cancel campaign. In fact, you would see Asmongold in the replies saying based. I'm not sure how, but somewhere along the line, the HR Karen controlling mindset was allowed into the gaming community. Glad to see they're being rightfully bullied out of it again. Keep it up, guys. They deserve it. Now, of course, the people who were trying to side with the Victoria streamer were very upset to see Asmongold in the replies, saying, I don't know, man, if I had Asmongold in the greasy basement dweller incels defending me, I would probably hate myself for real. It is absolutely weird how bad these people want to say the R word in any conversation they have. And you just look at the accounts and it's just like, these people are completely and utterly terminally online. Like, there's absolutely no hope for people like this who are having a complete breakdown over someone using a word online, in this case, the dreaded R word, that has them all up in a bunch and upset that Asmongold would agree with them. In fact, here's another reply saying, imagine saying something so stupid and out of touch that a gross creature like Asmongold agrees with you. I'd blow my head clean off, not gonna lie. So this person would end their life if Asmongold had any similar opinion than them. That seems completely, just insane. Yeah, let's not even make jokes. I mean, it's just an insane bit of behavior here. But there's more. This person saying, FanFan has been one of the biggest losers in the space for a while now. She actively cultivates an incel fan base and encourages the worst kinds of behavior. We should have collectively moved past her based on the streamer awards, but Twitch is just kind of like that. So now we've seen two tweets talking about an incel fan base that FanFan is attracting. In fact, Victoria would have something to say about that as well, saying incel men have a habit of discarding women eventually, though. and they're not great audiences to have anyways. This is referring to fans community. So her term will likely be short-lived in the grand scheme of things. Maybe she'll be famous on Twitch, but she'll never, ever get out of that realm. Not with this digital footprint. She will find it difficult to succeed in other spheres with all of her behavior following her. Jeez, pot calling the kettle black. This person celebrating political violence and the demise of people over political opinions is talking about a digital footprint because this person doesn't feel the need to censor herself when saying certain problematic words on the internet. That is entirely too rich. But here's another one saying, unsurprisingly, Fan is the quintessential privileged streamer. Says a user who's so privileged that they get to tweet with a hammer and sickle in their name and is allowed to do so because they have the freedom of speech to do so and to reap the benefits of the systems they hate so much. We need to start treating this symbol being in someone's bio for what exactly it is. I mean, it's a disgusting thing to have, and it's just beyond pathetic. But that is the Marvel Rivals situation, the latest set of drama that has a bunch of people up in arms and a lot of people laughing, and I hope you were the latter. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about this video's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.